question after game 1, and we will be providing you with the answer and winner after the finals. So there on the left you see Alex Mitteness playing Valakut, and on the right, Anders Simpson-Wolf with Exarch Twin. Both players taking a peek at their opening hand. Alex keeps. Anders looks to be taking a mulligan. Yeah. So, not sure. Actually, yeah, both players definitely know each other's lists here. They've had all night to look over the potential opponents they could be facing here in the finals. Take a look here. So, Anders on the draw, I believe, and going to 6. I wish I'd love to have seen seen how he fought through that torpor orb. I assume it had something to do with into the royal.
Well, let's see. It's possible that it was into the royal. It's also possible that he shattered the because it says game 3. He could have shattered it.
Shatter. That's true.
Only one shatter, but a shatter nonetheless.
Good. So Anders now looks like he's okay with his hand. So the game's off to the races. There we have a Terramorphic Expanse from Alex and a Halimar Depths from Anders.
Essentially a pair of come into play tapped lands for the most part. Forest fetched by Alex.
Anders able to set things up for himself for the next few turns with Halimar Depths. And
now we've got some waiting.
Yeah.
Anders Simpson-Wolf showing kind of a Zen-like pose there.
Are we?
I'm not sure if they're waiting for a judge ruling or something, because they both appear to be waiting.
Yeah. That was really fast.
Maybe what's happening is they have decided to battle this out in their minds, like two wizards.
Mental magic. Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder if did something happen off of that Halimar Depths? Maybe an extra card.
Yeah, maybe a Halimar Depths turned into an accidental ponder.
Right. Not exactly sure. We'll see what we can find out. Jeremy's checking on things, I think. So in the meantime, if you're just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here in the booth with Adrian Sullivan covering the finals of the standard portion of the StarCityGames.com Open Series here in Boston. And Alex on the left playing Valakut versus Anders Simpson-Wolf on the right playing Blue-Red Splinter Twin.
Whatever happened,
yeah.
It looks like they're picking up their cards now, and I think it might be resolved, maybe?
Yeah, we're not sure
maybe
what's
not.
going on here. All we know is that both players played well, Alex led on Terramorphic Expanse. Anders played a Halimar Depths and passed back. Alex then cracked the Terramorphic Expanse for a Forest. And there's where things kind of halted. We're going to try to see what's going on here. Jeremy is over there taking a look. Now, as far as these questions, there's been some just some questions on Twitter, and I've seen this question before. The winner for the SCG Premium is chosen randomly from those who answer correctly. It's not the first person to tweet in with the correct answer. It's a random winner from those who answered correctly.
Yeah,
so,
if you answer correctly, you're eligible, and then a lottery of those players.
So we're back into the game here.
Okay, turn 2. We now have an Overgrown Battlements from Alex Mitteness. A Arid Mesa from Anders Simpson-Wolf.
And an Explore from Alex. Okay, so it seems like the judge stopped them due to a technical issue over there. So
a technical issue over there?
Technical issue for the judge.
I wonder if like his timepiece stopped, or this is untimed finals though. Maybe his judge computer broke down.
It was something like that, yeah.
Manaleek stops an Explore, just trying to slow Alex down just a little touch.
Yeah.
Manaleek becomes dead pretty quickly, particularly if you are, concerned about Summoning Trap. Alexander Mitteness does not have Summoning Trap. They've seen each other's lists, so it's just maybe, trying just to slow Alex down from being able to have a certain groundswell of cards.
Now, as far as like Valakut goes, it doesn't seem to have, traditionally does not seem to have very many good answers to the Exarch Twin combo.
I mean, you would sometimes see main deck Nature's Claims or Naturalize. Alexander does have 2 Naturalized main deck, so what he can do is he can interrupt the combo in order just to have it be fairly short, like a one-step combo where you get a single creature.
Yeah. So he does have 2 in the main deck, 1 on the sideboard, alongside 3 Combust.
The Combusts are really excellent because you can't actually redirect them to Spellskite if you have a Spellskite in play.
Anders, however, in the sideboard has 2 copies of Mutagenic Growth to help protect his Exarch from a Combust. Combust does 5, and the Mutagenic Growth pumps the Exarch up to 6 toughness. So, a second Halimar Depth from Anders resolves, and he passes back to Alex. Alex plays a Forest, and tapping 5 for a Green Sun Zenith. So, Green Sun Zenith appears to be resolving here.
Now, he does have a main deck Baloth, but it's probably going to be an Oracle or a Solemn Simulacrum that is going to be fetched here.
Yeah, the Baloth not...
Well, he can't fetch the Solemn, pardon me. It'll be an Oracle that he fetches here, most likely.
The Baloth not as impressive against an infinite damage combo deck.
Yeah. I mean, the Baloth would be if he decides he wants to try to end this game quickly.
That's true.
But, I mean, an Oracle does the same kind of work of ending the game quickly simply by drawing you into the lands you need to make your combo of Primeval Titan and your deck work.
Yeah, it fuels Plan A quite a bit better than the Baloth does. And at this point, there's no reason Alex should be off his Plan A. So he gets a mountain off of the Oracle, and on top of his library sees an Avenger of Zendikar, which is likely live next turn should Alex choose to cast it. There's a Ponder from Anders. Notably, there is 1 copy of Summoning Trap in Alexander's sideboard, so while that won't be a factor here in Game 1, obviously, it is something that Anders will have to keep in mind for Game 2 and 3.
That Arid Mesa puts Anders up to the ability to potentially kill Alex on the next turn.
Yeah. Can flash in the Exarch at the end of Alex's turn, and then cast Splinter Twin during his turn, and that could take the game. So
a little bit of land from Alex.
Alex sees a Solemn Simulacrum on top of the library right now.
And that is a newfangled art Solemn Simulacrum. I can't see Jens Thorin anywhere in that art.
He's got a face in the clouds in the background. So Oracle of Moldiah getting in for 2. Anders kind of looked like he might have wanted to flash in and block, and decides against it. He kind of paused for a second, like, wait, maybe? No. Take 2. It's fine. So Alex seems to be trying to decide what he wants to do here with his 7 available mana. And it appears that he is playing Avenger of Zendikar.
Well, this means that Anders is on a very, very short clock. That's 6 lands. So with 6 1/1s. Anders cracks the Arid Mesa. Yeah, if, for example, Alex has a fetch land, he can kill Anders Simpson-Wolf next turn.
If Anders has the combo, he can kill Alex this turn.
Well, on his own next turn, true. Yeah,
Right.
it's...
I say this turn, yeah, I mean before Alex's next turn. It's a very, we're reaching the end of game one here one way or another, and there's
the one
Exarch,
portion.
and I'm almost positive he has the other portion because I thought I saw it earlier, and
I thought I
pretty
saw
sure
it
just
as well.
saw it just now.
He taps a token. There it is.
And,
Da-da-da-da!
yeah. And there's the combo. Coming soon to Modern.
Right.
Gonna be 6 weeks. No more Exarch Twin combo in Standard, unless they reprint Splinter Twin. You know,
That's possible. Who knows? It's a crazy world.
It is a crazy world, or some other.
You know, I'm
sort
gonna
of effect
say,
like that.
I think I saw some stuff that had like puppets in Estrad, so maybe there's like some sort of like weird little thing that's
some
like
other effect. Like
a functional reprint of Splinter Twin.
Right. Yeah,
Like
I mean,
cursed strings. I don't know.
it's funny too because you look at Modern, you know, the newly announced Modern format, and we have both Exarch and Twin, and Kiki Jiki Pestermite, which of course is the original. It's
Oh,
Splinter
Kiki
Twin
Jiki.
combo.
Kiki Jiki is one of my
So,
favorite cards ever.
Like, I mean, is that going to be a deck? There's so many ways to interact with
You
it.
know, one of the
but-
things I'm thinking about right now, since you mentioned Kiki Jiki, is not that combo-based version of the kill, but is actually a Rob Castro special, the 5-color green deck from a couple of years ago that was in Extended, that ran Kiki Jiki as a means to essentially do kind of birthing pod-like effects, but it also had Mystic Snake in there. Oh man, you could play that. I think Mystic Snake was reprinted in Time Spiral.
It was.
So you could just have your infinite counter spells and, you know, all kinds
Infinite
of stuff.
counter spells is something I'm all about. I definitely played a Hunting Grounds deck back in 2002 when Mystic Snake was in Standard the first time, and it was, you know, I would had Genesis and you know, Hunting Grounds and returning, you know, bouncing the Mystic Snake back to my hand and playing them again. So we will be asking you a question.
Yes. So, for those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here in the booth with Joey Pasco, and we have a giveaway.
Yeah.
This is for 1 full year of Star City Games Premium, and we had a very long tournament here this weekend.
Yeah.
If you tweet the answer to this, it was 499 people yesterday, went to a top 8, today a top 4. In our top 4, we had a bunch of different decks. In fact, there were 4 different archetypes
In the top
that
4.
made the top 4. Now, my question is very simple. There was 1 Caw deck in our top 4. Tweet the answer to SCG Premium
Yep.
was
Hashtag
played-
SCG Premium.
by Jerry Thompson. What have we been calling this Caw deck all weekend that Jerry Thompson has been playing? We have given it a small name. It's not Caw Blade that we've been calling it. What have we been calling it? Tweet your answer to hashtag SCG Premium.
This is a
Not
softball,
Caw
guys.
Blade, but Caw what?
This is a softball.
I think so. I mean, I just kind of like lobbing it over the plate.
Yeah.
Your answers to hashtag SCG Premium. You can put other hashtags in there if you want, but SCG Premium is the one that will make sure that you have the possibility of winning a year of
1 year,
free
yeah.
premium.
So
To the
these guys go on the
sideboard.
sideboard. So as we were mentioning in game 1, we
I
know Anders has. Okay, so let's look at since Alex lost game
I
1.
think it's going to be pretty simple. I mean, Alex Mitteness is going to bring in 3 Combust, he's going to bring in 1 Naturalize, and he's going to bring in 1 Summoning Trap.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the end of it.
So I totally agree. So that's 5 cards. What does he remove out of the
I
deck? Do you
don't think he needs the Obstinate Baloth.
Yeah, I agree. There's that. He can.
I think it's possible, I mean, that he might take out Avenger simply because he's got enough other things to have as his big card.
Right.
Avenger, its ability to have a bunch of tokens doesn't really do much.
Right, it's not very relevant against infinite tokens.
Yeah.
On the other side, so
I mean-
not that great. So Avenger seems like a reasonable.
Yeah, that's
cut.
1 card. And then the rest of it, though, I mean, that's actually a difficult question because That's 2 cards, and you've got 3 more to fit. You might just shave down things like Explore or Cultivate or Battlements or something like that.
I mean, Pat Cox won last week with 0 battlements, so that to me says it's one of those cards that's it's not against an aggro deck.
Well, you want to be cautious though about removing too much of your acceleration.
Right, I agree with that, but he does.
Maybe Cultivate is the one because it's the least accelerating.
That's true too. That might be where he cuts.
And then on the other side, Anders Simpson-Wolf. I think what we're going to probably see. Spellskite's probably going to come in as a means to defend against Naturalize. He knows Naturalizes are available. Mm-hmm. And Mutagenic Growth might come in as a means to fight Combust.
Yeah, he should be. I mean, he's aware of the other list. His opponent's list. So the Mutagenic Growths seem reasonable.
I would not be surprised to see Azure Mage come in just to be able to get a extra way to push through so that you just build up a hand while you're countering various things with your mana leaks. Mental Misstep is probably going to go from his list. There's almost no ones that he can counter. And Twisted Image can kill a battlement, so it might stick around.
That's a good point, yeah. Well, it looks to me like Anders is again taking a mulligan. He is on the draw again here in Game 2. So he's starting off Game 2 in the same way he started off Game 1. On the draw with a mulligan. And might be exactly the kind of thing he wants to do. It's like these kind of combo decks that can win off of a 2-card combo. Mulliganing into a kind of more sculpted or just a better starting hand isn't as scary, I think, just because sometimes you just have the tools to win. You can just win out of nowhere. So,
I mean, talking with numerous players, but one of the people that comes to mind is Larry Swayze. He took up Red Blue, Splinter Twin, and Twin Blade for a little while there. And one of the things he said he really loved about the deck was just that he didn't really feel like he was in it, and then he just top decked to win.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot with that deck.
Yeah, definitely saw that a lot. So there we go. Off to the races. Alex Mitteness plays a turn 1 Terramorphic Expanse. Anders plays a turn 1 Mountain. Alex cracks a Terramorphic Expanse at the end of Anders' turn. This is looking very similar to Game 1, although Anders had a Halimar Depths Game 1 instead of the Mountain. But yeah, Alex fetches a Forest. Mountain for Alex and an Explorer.
And lays a Valakut off of his Explorer.
Passes the turn. Anders, I believe he just drew a second Mountain. Yeah.
Double Mountain.
And is this going to be
Spellskite?
Could be.
Shrine of Piercing Visions. A better play for him right now.
That was going to be my guess, but I wasn't quick enough to take a look and make sure it was actually in the list. I know a lot of these lists are running it now, but there was a point where they weren't running the Shrine at all.
Yeah.
And there's a Colony Expedition. Colony Heart Expedition. Wow, you've got me thrown off with the names here.
Colony Exploration, Colony Heart Garden Exploration Expedition. Let's see, what else can we throw in there for extra words?
Yeah. So,
a Rampant Growth
Colony
brings
Heart
up to 2.
And then the Rampant Growth triggers the Expedition. So Alex with about 1 billion lands in play here on, turn 1? I'm exaggerating.
It looks like about 1 billion. I mean, if you do the
math.
math.
But it's not turn 1, so. Anders now taking a look. No blue sources yet for Anders.
Halimar Depths.
There's one. And Anders can set up the top of his library here. Taking a look at his hand to see exactly how he should set this up. And here we have a Spellskite added to Anders' side of the board. Passes back, so Alex is untaps with 5 land, 5 mana available. And potentially much more. There's a Cultivate from Alex. Grabs a mountain, ticks up the Expedition.
And one of the things that's really impressive about Valakut as an archetype is that sometimes you can have your deck never get a Primeval Titan into play because it gets countered, or you don't draw it, or they make you discard it with Despise, and yet with the ramp that you have, you still just start triggering your Valakuts off of naturally laying your lands down.
Yeah. So he gets 2 mountains from the Cultivate, 1 into play, 1 into his hand, and I believe just played a mountain for the turn. Ticks up that Expedition, plays a Battlements.
And now we're getting into the dangerous set of turns where it is possible for Anders Simpson-Wolf to end of the turn Exarch and follow up with victory. He's got a Spellskite there as defensive backup. So, I mean, he actually is threatening some real danger here for Alex Mitteness. He puts both of his cards from the Preordain on the bottom. And in order to make this danger happen, he needs to find an island right now.
Yeah, so
and now he cracks his shrine, probably looking for a blue source.
It's also possible that he doesn't have the other piece of the combo. I saw the Exarch, did not see the twin. I could be wrong, though.
He did a little minor shuffle in there,
Yeah,
but I think that's the island. I think he has the combo in his hand right now.
He may have it. He also may be just threatening it.
He thinks about attacking with Spellskite and then holds it back.
Where's Noble Hierarch when you need him? Make that that Spellskite a 1/5. So interesting
Alex.
thing here about the combo decks. It's just a shaky situation, and there we have an Avenger. This is looking a lot like Game 1, where
he might mana leak this.
and he
Wow,
does.
so Anders might not, or probably does not have the combo.
That's my guess.
Yep,
Here.
and then Alex does not likely have a summoning trap, even though it's possible.
Yeah, he has 1 copy in the 75, so chances are he doesn't have it, and he doesn't. So passes back. Now, like I said, I have a feeling Anders does not have the Splinter Twin because I have not seen it in his hand. I see an Exarch. I see Gitaxian Probe, which now we all see, and we're going to also see what's in Alex's hand. It's a Rampant Growth and an Inferno
It's
Titan.
not a particularly scary hand from Alex Mitteness.
I mean, you can play the Titan. Not, I mean, the Titan's a Titan. That's scary enough, but... So he draws a card off of the Gitaxian Probe, plays an island, and passes the turn. So, I mean, I keep trying to get a peek at Anders' hand, and from what I can tell, no twin. Here
Here's
comes
the Inferno Titan.
And we have a Mana Leak.
Another mana leak. Anders Simpson-Wolf basically becoming a de facto control deck right now.
And an Explorer from Alex.
Maybe he'll find a summoning trap.
That's possible, yeah, you're right. And doesn't look like it, so he passes the turn. We have, looks like an Exarch flashing in here.
Taps the enchantment.
Taps the enchantment, yeah. I just want you completely tapped out. So draws off the top. In for 1.
Attack for 1.
I think he just drew a second Exarch,
I do see a second Exarch.
but still no twin. Alex now draws for the turn. Oh, untap your enchantment.
Gotta make sure you get everything done legally. The rules are the rules, okay, Joey?
Better untap. All right, 7 mana for a green Sun Zenith. And this time it appears that Anders does not have a mana leak.
I think it's going to resolve.
Yeah, so here comes trouble in the form of Primeval Titan for Alex. Valakut. Oh, Alex thinking about it for a second. Yeah, so there's a Valakut.
Now that Colony Heart Expedition, being in play this whole time, it's going to have the opportunity to explode out some mountains. Here's the Valakut.
With the glare, it's tough to see exactly how many mountains Alex has available, but I have a feeling it's enough, or potentially enough. Or I mean, close to enough, that is. So, passes the turn back to Anders. Anders has a very, very short window here to try to find that twin. There's a Shrine of Piercing Vision.
Go!
And
Oh boy!
He does have that second Exarch to tap down the Titan to keep it from attacking. Also, will put a counter on the Shrine. Play a little bit of defense here.
Hold on, it says Anders.
Yeah.
Got this card right here.
So
Tap it.
Titan.
And now we're going to see the use of Colony Heart Expedition. Get some mountains, do some triggering of the Valakut. For Magic Online players, this is where you'll see the screen fill up with triggers. Even tapped out, though, Spellskite gets to have its say on a couple of them.
Yeah, how many Valakuts are in play?
I believe there's only 2, but
I think so too. Is that? I think.
That's he, and then he laid another mountain on top of it.
Yeah, apparently that was enough. So, yeah, as I was saying, dangerously close to enough mountains there on Alex's last turn, and he was able to just have that one extra mountain. So, because he could get 2 off the Colony Heart Expedition, and then
now,
just the 1 in hand.
You can see these guys pausing as someone talks to them. I'm imagining it's possible that they're looking over to the judge for some reason, and now someone's coming over. Yep, the head judge arrives. It's our judge. I can't remember his last name, but it's Daniel as his first name, right?
I think so.
Daniel from France, from Paris, I believe.
He is from Paris, or is from France for sure.
Yeah, he was born, I believe, I believe he told me he was born in the Soviet Union, but that he's French and he has lived in Paris for a while now. So it also struck me in talking with him earlier that he was very he was familiar with the Ruel brothers in terms of would talk with them about magic decks and things like that. So
yeah, it's interesting.
If you're out there, Jamie Wakefield, happy birthday. It's Jamie Wakefield's birthday, and I know he has watched this in the past. Okay. But
happy birthday, Jamie.
Now, if Jamie Wakefield were watching, he'd be rooting for Primeval Titans, I think.
I believe it. The green fatty. So, one thing I wonder about that little pause I didn't happen to notice whether or not the Deceiver Exarch that was flashed in ticked up the shrine.
It did tick up the shrine.
It did, okay.
Yeah, he
'Cause
made sure to
that's
tick it up.
One of those things that I know, the triggers that people have been missing is those shrine triggers, because they're not May abilities. And I thought maybe they were getting a little warning there.
I was kind of wondering if maybe there was an issue with kibitzing. So whether maybe a spectator tried to step in and say something, and maybe that's what was happening. Because it didn't look like anything was going on in the game at all. The game looked clean, and
good call. Yeah, could be that.
Because it looked like they were both looking off, and then it looked like they changed where they were looking to the judge next to Alex.
Yeah.
And then the head judge came over. So I'm not sure what happened, but whatever. It appears to be no issue for either Anders or for Alex.
Now, notably, there in that game, Anders was very close to winning. He just could not find a single Splinter Twin after all those, the Halimar Depths, the Shrine, some Preordains. I don't know if he cast a Ponder, but still was not able to dig to a Splinter Twin. But if he had, I believe, knowing most of what was in Alex's hand, he could have had the win there. It was all a matter of drawing that Splinter Twin that time. Or not drawing it, as the case
Right,
was, yeah.
right.
So Anders taking a look at his opener and looks to be thinking about mulliganing. Definitely giving it some thought. I'm assuming he's keeping, just
Well, I
he
mean,
thought about it a little bit.
he doesn't want to mulligan. It would make him one sad panda, but I think that
He's mulligan game 1 and 2, yeah. Okay, apparently the situation actually didn't affect the game at all. It was something to do with a question about a rules interaction that was just brought up. It just happened that it was right at the end of that game, and
Island followed by Fetch Land there. Is that a Terramorphic Expanse?
Yes,
Yep,
it is.
Terramorphic Expanse.
So do we have turn 2 Explore from Alex getting mana leaked by Anders like we saw in game 1?
I would not be surprised. Or some other turn 2 accelerant being
Right.
either Rampant Growth or Overgrown Battlements.
We don't know if Anders has the counterspell for it, but
I kind of wonder in that second game when Anders just used the Shrine of Piercing Visions if he was looking for mana, if that's what he was doing there, because it feels like he didn't actually end up needing that mana at that time, if that's the case.
I thought he was looking for the twin. Couldn't tell whether or not he had the land in hand. So there's
Colony Heart,
Expedition. Yeah,
and
Colony
that's
Heart
negate.
Expedition. Negate. Yeah.
But he doesn't even, if he's looking for the combo, he doesn't need it right then. He can do that on his own turn.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
No, he did do it on his own turn. My bad. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
misstatement. Valacut from Alex Mitteness. And Deceiver comes down,
Is this looking like
tapping the forest.
Anders is going to win on turn 4 with the combo?
No Combust from Alex Mitteness.
Land.
Crack it.
Crack the
Oh
best land.
boy, this could be it.
It
There
very
are no
much could be.
dismembers in
There it is.
Alex Mitteness. And there we
is.
go.
Wow, that was super quick.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations to Anders, who, if he was thinking about mulliganing, not mulliganing, obviously was the play there.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
like-
what his opener was, but whatever his opener was combined with the top of his deck.
He looks so happy there. He's like talking about what happened. And then on the other side of the table, 3 sad pandas.
One wearing the shirt and 2 on the shirt.
Yeah, that's right. Now that kind of opening moment, right? He lays the Deceiver Exarch with Alex